Thought you deserved it. I didn't mean to do this. Lionel? Lionel, it's me. It's me, Sophia. Lionel, I didn't die. I didn't die, not really. Remember Paramore?
That's where Channing is.
If you remember, you tell me, I know. Remember the island? In the middle of the sea where we could be alone? Channing, Lionel? I didn't mean Lionel. Answer me, Lionel.
That's enough. I'm all right, Sophia. He didn't hurt me. I loaded the gun with blanks. Cruz just wanted me to help someone remember something. Sophia?
And it was Mama? And you knew?
The memory of her.
Killed by a ghost. So when none of us dreamed was still alive. My baby.
Someone should be with her.
Let me.
Sophia, please forgive me. I swore you'd never know. She thought she couldn't have meant to kill Lionel either.
I wonder if there was ever a moment when Channing knew. Still alive when one came in. I wonder if he looked up and realized...
Oh, Mason, be quiet. How could you do this? To her? How could you do it to all of us?
This was my doing, Mr. C. Lionel had no idea what would come of it. He was just going along with me.
But why, Cruz?
Because words wouldn't have brought it back, Eden. And there was no proof. If I'd have just walked in here and tried to tell you all what really happened 6 years ago, nobody would have believed me.
My Channing.
You're strong, Sophia.
Keep him away from her.
No, let him be.
You were never meant to know this moment. Your mind protected you from it. You didn't know that the gun would fire. You didn't know that the man who walked through the door would be your son.
He wasn't. He was. Why didn't you kill me that day so I wouldn't have done this? This is my child. This is my flesh. I'm a monster.
Stay with us, Sophia. Don't let it take you away again. Stay with us.
Dream, Marcello.
Yes, I
The
know.
dream that I had.
You'll never have it again.
I was sitting and I was waiting, and there was a man, and he was coming toward me, and he had a crown on, and it was gold, and he fell. I saw the blood, and I could hear the blood. I looked to his face. I woke up.
It was too painful for you to lose.
Let me wake up this time. Please. Please let her go away. Help me. Help me. When will I go away from this?
Sophia. Channing is gone now. No one loved him more than I did. No one blames you for what happened.
All these years, all the things you've all been through.
We didn't know.
No, please. Please, I want to stay down here with him. Now, this is where I belong.
We can't let this happen.
Mama, please don't go away again. Mama, please, look at me. Look at me. Who am I? Who am I? Say my name. Say my name, please. Say my name.
Eden.
Now, who am I to you? Who am I? Who am I?
My daughter?
Your daughter who loves you. Who loves you. Mama, listen to me, Mama. When you went away and we thought you were dead, I was sorry and I cried, but I didn't warn you. And then that day when you came back, do you remember that? I was there and I was hurt and I was angry and I was sorry. And I wanted to take it out on you. Do you remember that? But that wasn't then, Mama. It wasn't. And that's what's happening to you. This isn't then. Mama, look at me. Who am I? Who am I, Mama?
My baby who loves me.
I love you, Mama. I do love you. And you came back. I don't know what happened, but you came back because of Channing and because of us, right?
I killed your brother, Eden.
I know. But he loved you. And so do I. So do I, Mama.
Me too, Mom.
What's happening? What's going on?
Mama, I was the one who taught you. But I will never, never turn away from you again. I promise.
What's she doing now?
Nothing.
Where's your father?
He's right here, I guess.
Sophia, I love Channing so
Not
much.
now, Santana.
But I know what it is to feel that you've betrayed your child in a way that you can never make right. I gave mine up. Channing's in mine. Your grandchild. They can't forgive us because they'll never know. But Sophia, can't we forgive ourselves? Can't you and I forgive each other a little? At least enough to make it bearable.
Yes, listen to her, Sophia. Listen, she knows...
You get away from her. You knew all along, Marcello. You came here to hurt us, and everything you ever said was a lie. You pretended to be so understanding about how I felt for Joe. You were the one that let him rot all those years in jail when you could have said something.
Said what, Kelly? To whom? None of you even knew that she was alive. I had no idea who Joe Perkins was or what he meant to you. I had no idea about anything about any of you except for your father.
Maybe you made her do it. Maybe you kept her from knowing. Maybe you hypnotized her. Huh, Marcello?
Doesn't anyone understand that I love this woman and I always have? She was my stepmother for more years than she was with you. Certainly far longer than my real mother was with me. And she cared for me. She missed her children, but the love that she couldn't give to them, she gave to me. And when she wanted to come to Santa Barbara to find Channing's killer and to bring him to justice, I wanted to prevent that. I would have done anything. I would have turned myself in. I would have gladly gone to prison. Anything just to keep it from coming to this.
I never saw that note, Sophia. Not until this year when it was found in the tuxedo.
That's because Philip gave it to Channing by mistake. You see, you had given it to one of the kitchen staff, apparently, and she passed it on to Philip to deliver.
But Cruz, the kitchen staff is not allowed in the front of the house.
Whether Philip assumed it was meant for Channing or the maid made a mistake, no one seems to be able to remember. Marcello, how much did you hear of what went on in this room that day?
I heard everything.
You're Channing and me together?
Yes,
And Channing and I?
that too.
From inside the tunnel?
No, when I heard the gunshot, I took a look through a peephole in the bookcase, but I couldn't see anything, so I took a chance and I went in. She was kneeling beside him, holding the note in her hands. I saw the gun on the floor beside her. Only one thing could have happened, but still I hoped I was wrong. I was afraid what she would do when she saw me. She had not even known I was in the country and had followed her to Santa Barbara. She looked at me and knew me, but there was no surprise, nothing.
Marcello, I did it. Lionel. I killed Lionel. He didn't know me. He didn't say anything. He didn't remember. I didn't want Lionel to die. I just wanted to frighten him.
Leave that, Sophia. Leave it.
No. No, he doesn't need it now. I gave it to Lionel when I loved him, but you see, I don't love him anymore. He doesn't deserve it. Marcello? You can't kill anyone you love, can you?
I didn't know whether to keep silent and let her mind censor the obvious sight before her, taking her further and further out of touch with the most familiar things of her world, or to try to bring her back. Sophia, this man is not Lionel.
I know.
Do you know who it is?
No.
Yes, I think you do. Look at him. Look at him. How did this happen, Sophia? How did it happen? It was obvious that the truth was something she could not face, and perhaps never would. So I gave her the lie that I thought she would need to survive. Sophia, listen to me. Listen to me. Did Lionel Lockridge do this to your son?
Yes. Lionel killed my son because he tried to kill me, but he didn't. So he killed Channing.
Sophia, Steve, hurry. Come out. Out this way, hurry. I heard noises outside the study and someone knocking.
That would have been Warren.
So I took Sophia back inside the tunnel and I replaced the disguise she was wearing, trying to think of what to do next. But then when we heard the door slam,
I left in a hurry.
she started behaving as if nothing had happened, as if Lionel was still still waiting to come to her. And she broke away from me and she went back inside. And I saw her. It was as though the horror of it had washed her mind clean, seeing Channing as though for the first time. She ran to his side, forgetting me, everything. When she ran into the corridor for help, I followed her. She caught sight of me in the mirror behind her, and for a split second, I thought she was going to remember everything. But then, someone else came into the corridor, who I know now was Joe. I stayed away a safe distance, and I waited for my chance, and I went in, I gave her something to put her to sleep, and took her with me to Anchorage. You see, I knew 2 excellent doctors who had a small sanitarium there. I knew that it was far enough away that there was little chance of her hearing about it in the news, but it was still in the country, so there was no immigration problem, and so we went.
When you confessed us now, and when you wanted to go back to Italy and take me with you, that was all from me, too.
Seems to me, Marcello, the only thing you've ever done is hurt my father and help my mother.
It's actually more. You see, it was Marcello who typed that little addition to Peter Flint's confession. And Marcello who somehow found out that I'd reopened the investigation. Whereupon he stole the original pistol from the desk, looted my files, and of course set the charge that blew up the tunnel. The lab confirmed that the trace chemical we found in your apartment was nitroglycerin.
We could have died down there.
Hank Judson did die, which is another charge you'll have to face. But I'll give you credit for one thing. You did what you set out to do. Because no one, certainly not Sophia, ever imagined that she was the one who'd shot Channing.
No, but it shouldn't have fired.
Now we see what she's really like. Mama, don't think about it.
No,
Please.
No. The gun should not have gone off. Of course I wouldn't have killed Lionel. I thought I made sure that the gun wasn't loaded.
Sophia?
I first came to the house the night before. I didn't dare go any further than this room. I decided this would be where I'd see Channing and tell him I was alive. I stayed longer than I should have, but I hadn't been in the house for 10 years. There were so many memories. When I looked in the desk, I found a guest list for the party the next day. And in another drawer, the gun. Gave me an idea. The only thing that frightened me about what I planned to do was seeing Lionel again. His name had been added to the guest list, so I knew he'd be there tomorrow, and I decided I would try to frighten him. To tell him I had come back for revenge, and that if he ever came near me again, I would kill him. I wanted him to beg for mercy and swear he would leave me alone. So, I emptied the gun. Oh, I didn't want to really hurt him. So I unloaded the gun, and I put it back. I'm sure of it. I would never have pulled the trigger if I thought it had anything.
No. Oh, God, no. What?
Daddy, it's terrible, I know, but at least justice can be done.
I'm sorry, Cece.
No.
Our son. Our firstborn, and he was so beautiful.
Don't.
And I am to blame.
No, you're not, Mom.
A horrible, ugly accident, but I am to blame.
No, you were right. The gun was empty. I couldn't sleep that night. I was so excited. Channing was coming home the next day. There was going to be the reception. And suddenly, I heard something. Burglar or someone.
Downstairs in the study.
It must have been me.
I put my robe on. I went down to investigate. I came in, there was no one here. I searched through the desk, and there wasn't anything missing. I didn't want anything to ruin tomorrow. And then I saw the gun in the desk. And I picked it up.
Oh, my God.
I saw that it was empty.
No, Cece, don't go on, please.
And so I loaded it. Sophia, I never...
I know.
I loved him so much. He was a child of our first year together. When you were here and you loved me, it's as if together that we... Sophia, help me.
Yes.
Well, you did it. It's over. Good work. I mean that. You got the truth out when nobody else could, with the minimum harm. No questions left unanswered.
I've had a couple. Like, why in the world did this have to happen? And what do we do now?
Same questions I have.
There were things before I never thought I could live through. This is the worst. And I'm sure you have those things, too.
When you first disappeared. And Hans, of course. But to think that the bullet that killed Channing came from my own hands.
Dad,
Mason?
I'm sorry.
Mason and Cece, I never thought it was possible.
Neither did I. There's real love there. Well, for Maggie's sake, I hope not.
So, how did you know, What did I say to you that made it fall into place?
Well, at the hotel when you were delirious, you whispered to me as though I were Sophia. As though you were afraid that had you died, she'd have been found out.
Well, I was afraid for her, afraid that she'd be defenseless against your investigation.
You told me to hide the ring, to get rid of Lionel's ring. And I figured that since she had the ring and the note, well, it simply began to add up.
Well, congratulations. You didn't miss anything. You solved your case.
Sophia, you won't come out of this untarnished. Not if I have anything to say about it.
Augusta.
Oh, please! Now. You're all fawning over her as though she were the one that was murdered. As though she were hunted and accused.
Augusta, that's enough. Don't you realize what she's been through?
She put our family through hell. She jeopardized our son's life. She's right. Don't pretend to be noble and don't ask for me to sympathize.
Augusta, it's not the time.
And her protector, Dr. Armonti. Where the hell are you?
Here.
I don't know what your story is. You accuse Cece of some selfish, heinous selfishness. Well, God knows that's true. But what about you? You allow lives to be ruined, and you protect the ignorance of some equally selfish, promiscuous woman. You would have even let me die. And you set an explosion that caused blindness. And God knows what other sort of injuries.
Augusta, that won't solve anything.
Well, what will? I have a grievance. A very great grievance, and I want justice!
Augusta, come on, please. What?
We have paid and paid and paid for the Capwell's crimes against each other. Now it's their turn. What's going to happen to Sophia and her stepson? What's going to be their punishment?
Marcello will be charged with attempted murder for what he tried to do with Mr. C at the hotel, and murder one, I would imagine, in the death of Hank Judson. I think he was only trying to destroy evidence, which, unknown to him, didn't exist. But you did know there'd be people down there in the tunnel when the charge went off, didn't you, Doc?
He could have killed me and Ted and Santana.
It's not necessary. We're already talking about life in prison.
And he knew how Channing died all along. And that makes him some sort of an accomplice, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does.
But accomplice to whom? And to what? You can't first decide that someone's been an accomplice to a crime without deciding that a crime has been committed.
Mason's right. The real question here is, what are you going to do with my mother?
Why is her murder different than his?
She didn't know Augusta.
She had no intention of hurting anyone.
She even unloaded the gun.
Well, I can testify that if need be.
But somebody died. A life was lost. Doesn't something have to be done?
She was only trying to scare Lionel. Lord knows she had motive enough to do that.
Why didn't I check the gun? Why did I just pull the trigger?
No, Mom, you couldn't have known.
Things like this happen all the time. You hear those stories where people are cleaning a gun or it's flying around and someone gets shot? They don't take people to court. They don't throw them in jail.
Actually, it's not quite the same, Eden. I'm sure Cruz must realize that.
Why isn't it?
The fact is that Sophia wasn't cleaning the gun. It's true that the gun was empty, but she still intended to use it for coercion and harassment. That's illegal use of a firearm.
Is that true?
Yes.
And what would the charges be, and who would press the charges?
The DA's office. Now, don't look at Cruz. The DA decides who will be prosecuted and on what charges.
On the basis of what?
Evidence, testimony, police reports.
What if there isn't any of that?
That's right. So we don't have to say anything.
Yeah, no testimony, no evidence, no police report.
You're asking Cruz not to file one.
Of course she is. And baby, I'd do the same thing if I were you.
Then don't.
Now, Mom has just come back to us after all these years. Now, you can't just take her away from us.
You're not being fair to Cruz, Ted. He's only got two choices. He can file a report, which it is his sworn duty to do, or he can not file a report and risk losing his job, or worse. The DA should decide that a crime has been committed later. Cruz would be as much an accomplice as Marcello.
What if he does make a report?
Rest would be up to the DA.
What is the worst they could charge her with?
I would guess manslaughter.
Oh,
No.
They can't do that.
No. Justice is fair. This isn't right. It was an accident. She didn't remember. She had no idea.
I know that, Eden, but testimony to that effect would have to come from Marcello. And how much weight is a court going to give a man who's already been charged with attempted murder and murder in the first degree?
Well, then that settles it. Cruz just can't tell the DA.
It's not that simple, Ted.
Why not?
For one thing, what makes you think the rest of us would be quiet?
Well, Augusta's right. Any one of us could go to the DA for reasons good or bad.
Who else in this room would tell besides Augusta? And we all know that she's jealous of Mama, and she's got no proof, and she's got no evidence. And if something did happen, it wouldn't be you.
Even that's not fair.
Well, Eden always states things badly, but she's got the choices right. You must have seen this coming all along, Cruz. What's it gonna be?